Yep, looks like we're live now. I guess at this point I'm not starting that early, but starting a little early today. I want to get a little more practice in. I learned a fair amount from yesterday after optimizing, or at least more so cleaning up the code. Optimizing in terms of speed, though. I definitely wrote some extra code yesterday that I didn't really need. So I want to do some practice with days from previous years. And I think that will be useful moving into today. I'm feeling pretty good. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Stream just started on my end, at least as far as chat goes. So looks like nobody's in here yet. But yeah, even if I'm just streaming to the VOD for people to watch afterwards, feeling pretty good about that. So so yesterday I finished with a lot of probably extraneous explanation. We solved the first part. We got the first star of day 2 of 2020. So going to be working on part 2. So opening up my code from yesterday, going through it really quickly again. Had some weird stuff happen in regards to this comparison. I see why it was wrong though, but we were able to debug it right before it started yesterday. So yeah, just want to make sure I got my title right. Yeah, it does say day 3, but just making sure. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'm sure I can optimize this. I'll optimize it, clean up the code a little bit afterwards. But yeah. Where do we go from here? Yeah, start part 2. I don't know if I'm gonna do the normal introduction today. Maybe if somebody comes in, I will. But I'll do a quick introduction. My name's Connor Azzarello. I'm a consultant at a mainly DevOps but general tech consultancy firm based out of Reston, Virginia, called Oteemo. Our name's there on the banner. You can visit us at oteemo.com. Always looking for new hires. If you're graduating this year, we're growing very, very quickly. So feel free to submit an application. I'm sure there's stuff open right now, but yeah. So yeah. Damn, I'm not firing on all cylinders. I got 30 minutes to get on top of this, but working on part 2. Reminder: part 2 of day 2 of last year's Advent of Code. So now we're a little bit behind in terms of days, but I might start streaming a little bit earlier, like maybe around 8 Pacific, to be able to get through 1, maybe even 2 problems a day beforehand. Do some extra practice, especially going into some of the later days. We heard yesterday that it gets more difficult as days goes on. So yeah. Part 2. While it appears you validated the passwords correctly, they don't seem to be what the official Toboggan corporate authentication system is expecting. The shopkeeper suddenly realizes that he just accidentally explained the password policy rules from his old job at the sled rental place down the street. Classic. When you move from a sled rental place to a toboggan something. Toboggans are sleds too, right? Yeah, I think so. The official Toboggan corporate policy actually works a little different. Each policy actually describes 2 positions in the password, where 1 means the first character, 2 means the second character, and so on. Be careful, Toboggan corporate policies have no concept of index 0. Thank you. because probably would have screwed that one up. But yeah, so everything's going to be -1 is immediately what that's telling me. But we'll see. I mean, you kind of are thinking in index 1 whenever you're thinking about like normal indexing in normal human life. That does lead to a funny story. A couple weeks ago, I was in Italy visiting my girlfriend, and their floors are 0 indexed. So like the ground floor is floor 0, and like all of the elevators say that, and like you go up to what we call the second floor is their first floor. Well, I would assume. I don't speak the language, so I don't know that for certain. I don't know how they would. Maybe they just call it the ground floor, not the 0th floor, because that doesn't really roll off the tongue. There's something about this story. I told a funny story in the stream 2 days ago about the word toboggan. Is something about this story. But yeah, exactly one of these positions must contain the given letter. Other occurrences of the letter are irrelevant for the purposes of the policy enforcement. I don't... So I guess the assumption now is that... not assumption, but specification is that... like they said, I guess, but it doesn't matter having more than 2, but the requirement now is that there must be 2 of those letters within the password. So here's the example. So it's the same example from above. 1 through 3A is valid. Oh, did I read it wrong? Where 1 means the first character. Wait, how is that valid? Oh, it only has to be one or both, I guess. Oh no, it has to be one or the other. So, okay. They didn't... I guess I needed the example here. They didn't explain that very well in the description. Maybe I read it wrong. I don't know. But 1-3A is valid because either position 1 or position 3 contains an A, or in the English definition, not what you might have learned in like digital logic design. That's something that's always confused me a little bit about the English language. Or not the English language, so that's what I started learning. But when I learned about like OR gates in school, it was a little bit weird because like our OR is more like an exclusive OR in English generally. But yeah, so exclusive OR in this case, it's either in position 1 or position 3, which is going to make our logic harder, sadly, I believe. 1 through 3B, or 1-3, it's not through 3. I mean, whatever. Is invalid because neither position 1 nor position 3 contain a B, and then 2-9C is invalid because both position 2 and position 9 contain C. So I guess those are good examples because it kind of goes through all 3 general cases that can happen. So I'm going to copy and paste this down because a lot of it's going to be valid. I'm resetting all my counts to 0. Okay, that's good. So mini reminder, our data structure, it's not the cleanest thing in the world, but our data structure, oh, I took out the p print. Import, seems like I'm talking about this every day, but pprint I think is really, really cool. It pretty prints your data structures in Python. So for example, if you have a list of lists in Python, it allows each interlist to be on its own line instead of like the normal way it's just printed on one really, really long line in Python. I think it's useful enough. From pprint import pprint. So yeah, this is what our data structure looks like at this point. My window's really big. So Python app.py. So we have the 5 through 7, the letter, the password itself, and then this triple nested list is the first value and the second value. So what we need to do, and I did it for the one yesterday, the letter in question is the one index of each line. So for line and lines, it's the first index of each line, and then the 0th element of that string is the letter, because for instance, it might be like Q colon. So you only want to get that single letter. And then for letter in line 2, which is the password, so you're checking. Actually, this is where it starts to get different. So let's think about this for a second. So we do need the letter in question. We do need, so first index is going to be an int cast of line 3, index 0, because that's the lower one. If we look at this right here, yeah, get big, there we go. But you see, because it's in quotes, it's as a string currently. Oh, I forgot my equal sign. And then doing the similar thing, second index is the int cast of line 3, 1. So now what do we need to do? We need to check if the, actually, let's just make it easier on ourselves and add 1, or sorry, subtract 1, because this is the English index, or whatever, it's non-zero indexed. So subtract 1 from that, and you can't do it in a single if, because it wouldn't be and it wouldn't be or, because of the way like logical or works, because it can only be one or the other. So I think this is the best way to do it. So if line, make this a little cleaner. So the password is line 2. So for, or not for, if password first index. Oh no, we have to have 4 like comparisons no matter what, I believe. Maybe there's a way to optimize it. But if this one is equal to the letter in question, or, oh, and password second index does not equal letter in question. God, this was happening yesterday. Like, for some reason the LSP is indenting this weirdly. But I'll fix it after. Then our valid passwords is plus equal to 1, or sorry, plus equal to 1. And then we have a very simple repeat of this for the second condition, but it's flipped. So this is not equal to, and then this is normal equals, because it can only be one or the other. Yeah, I think that should cover everything we need there. Valid password with the real policy is that take out the pprint So 346, I believe, is our answer for this. Crossing my fingers. Yep, cool, right answer. So let's go back to the beginning. Let's see if I can, oh, this moves back to advent of code for this year. So actually, let's go back. My first day, I wasted probably about a minute not really realizing there's a second half of the puzzle. So let's go back and solve the second part of day one. So this one was really simple. I don't think I solved this one on stream, actually. I think I was just practicing for myself. This one was really, really simple. You take the input file and you're trying to find the two entries that sum to 2020, because the year 2020, and then multiply them with each other. So that one's really, really easy to move through. I see I got one person in chat. If you would like me to go through that solution, please let me know. But I probably will not be doing it, but we'll see. So move in here. This is the solution. It uses combinations to go through all of the different combinations of numbers. That's the only kind of complicated part of this. Yes, part two. The elves in accounting are thankful for your help. One of them even offers you a starfish cone they had left over from a past vacation. They offer you the second one if you can find 3 numbers in your expense report that meet the same criteria. Using the example above again, the 3 entries that sum to 2020 are 979, 366, and 675. Multiplying them together produces the answer, blah, blah, blah. What is the product of the 3 entries? So, it's going to be very, very similar to the solution for part 1. But the cool thing about using the itertools combination is, because you could do this, and I don't know off the top of my head, but you could do it in some interesting way where you have some sort of either like list comprehension, the Python construct, or you do some trickery with, or not trickery, but some complicated stuff with for loops. But combination covers this as well. So I'm going to call this one combo 3. Even though logically within this program it's not necessary, but it's helpful. So I believe the answer, unless I'm brutally misunderstanding this problem, is just going to be this. And that's a lot of combinations, I think. So it executed pretty fast. 0080. Cool, that was the right answer. So I'll go through this really quickly. This is just some like boilerplate that I've also been copying for the recent problems, because as far as I can tell, everything is, you're given, in order for its advent of code to be language agnostic, you need to have like an input file, and then you just produce some numeric output, most likely. So I created this, and I've been using this as boilerplate for the other ones, but you just read the lines from the input file. This is probably a better way to do it, just so it's spaced out correctly. This is casting everything into an int, and creating a list called nums from the input file that you're given, and then combo, I guess in this case with my naming scheme this would be combo 2, but it's using the combinations function in the itertools library, which gives you all of the unique combinations, which is like part of like the mathematical terminology combination, all of the unique combinations of length 2 within nums, and it creates a list of lists. So for I in, wait, did I already forget? I don't know why I casted it to a because it's just an iterator. So I cast it to a list, and then I look at I in list combo, and then I look at the first or the first element, index 0, second element, index 1. If those two are equal to 2020, you print the value. It's safe to not immediately break when you find it, because the way it's worded, you can assume there's only one answer. And that's the only way for them to be able to test this in any valid way, is there has to be one answer. So similar thing. The only difference here is they want you to do 3 numbers that add up to 2020. So as you saw, the code is very, very much similar. But you just add the index 2 element, the third element, and see if all 3 added up in that combination is equal to 2020, and then you print out that number. So cool. That solution was really easy. Once again, I now see there's 2 people here. Feel free to be active in chat. I'd love to answer any questions, personal, technical, anything about my company, Oteemo, and what we do. Feel free, or just say hi. It makes it a little less lonely being out here. Yeah. If you want me to explain something a little more, yeah. Casey, I'm feeling better today. Thank you. Hopefully it's not bad that I'm kind of doxing your real name. I don't actually know how to make a file in this. I probably should. Or sorry, a folder, a directory. Yeah. Good. I'm glad. Thank you for coming back. Hopefully this has been useful so far. I know you're a coding god in your own right, or at least I've heard, so hopefully none of this is too rudimentary, but yeah. So gosh, it's hard for me to talk at the same time. So I'm removing that directory, and then I want to copy 223 cd3 lvim app.py. Probably bring up the question first, shouldn't I? I did get that second star, right? Yeah, I did. Cool. I think it's gonna like make a picture at the end with the way like things are highlighted, which will be kind of cool. I assume this year it does the same thing. I think that's kind of the point of an advent calendar. I'm not quite sure. So with the toboggan login problems resolved, the one we did, we're kind of going in a weird order, but with the toboggan login problems resolved, you set off toward the airport. While traveling by toboggan might be easy, it's certainly not safe. There's very minimal steering, and the area is covered in trees. You'll need to see which angles will take you near the fewest trees. Due to the local geology, trees in this area only grow on exact integer coordinates in a grid. Cool. Makes the problem possible or easier, so thank you. I'm glad they only grow on integer coordinates. And you make a map, which is your puzzle input of the open squares, periods, and the trees pound signs. You can see, for example, I have a feeling this is going to be quite a bit harder to solve. So we'll see. Probably not going to finish anything by the time the new one starts, but we'll see. These aren't the only trees, though. Due to something you read about once involving arboreal genetics and biome stability, the same pattern repeats to the right many times. Cool. You start on the open square period in the top left corner, and you need to reach the bottom below the bottommost row on your map. The toboggan can only follow a few specific slopes. You opted for a cheaper model that prefers rational numbers. Okay. Start by counting all the trees you would encounter for the slope right 3, down 1. Okay, good. They used a monospace font, so that's helpful. From your starting position at the top left, check the position. There's right 3 and down 1. Right 3 and down 1. So I don't believe you're hitting anything. Until you get past the location you check in the above example are marked here with 0, where there is an open square, and X where there was a tree. Okay, so 0, it's an open square. I guess we're assuming in this case that the trees do not have any area, if I'm thinking about this correctly. Yeah, they don't really have area. I'm probably overthinking this, but then check the position is right. Oh, sorry. The locations you check are here, so that makes sense. Right 3, down 1. Wait. 1, 2, 3. Oh, down 1. I see. And then 1, 2, 3, down 1. So you hit a tree. And then 1, 2, 3, down 1. That one should be open. 1, 2, 3, down 1. You hit a tree. Okay, cool. Where there's an open square and X where there's a tree. In this example, traversing the map using this slope would cause you to encounter 7 trees. Starting at the top left corner of your map and following a slope of right 3 and down 1, how many trees would you encounter? Okay, so this first example, or this first one is like, not super difficult. I'm not going to bite it off before this. If I have some time after we solve the problem for today, I'll go through it. But I do want to talk a little bit about how you would accomplish this. So it's just a giant, so there's a couple like hurdles, or I guess going with the story, a couple trees you have to avoid. Yeah, very funny. Thank you. With this problem, one is, this is the first example that I've experienced so far where your input file isn't necessarily like the true input to the problem, about this whole idea that it repeats over and over again. So this shouldn't be too hard to solve. I don't know. You could go some like really extreme. Oh no, I think the better way is not to actually multiply the input and create like a repeat of each row over and over again, but figure out once we get the input file how wide the track is, and then you'll just do whatever position you're moving in, say the like right direction. You're going to do like a modulus operation of the width of the track, so to speak, the input file that you were given, because you know that it repeats over and over again. So that will be true, I believe. Might have to do some guess and check because it might come out wrong when I actually try to solve it, but we'll see. Yeah. Yeah, so there's that, and then what you're doing is you're just repeatedly adding 3. So in this case, we want to know how wide it is and then how many rows it is. You can count either of those, but I'll go through how you can actually easily grab what the width of the input track is and what the length is. The reason you need, I just explained the width side. The reason you need the height of the input file, the number of lines in the input file, is because we need to know when to end. So we know that it's down 1, so we're just going to loop, like for instance, for I in range, the height, the number of lines in the input file, and that will give us the number of times we have to go through and check, because we're going at a very shallow angle geometrically. And yeah, you'll just I don't think this will actually be too hard. I'm kind of excited to solve this one because it's starting to get a little bit harder. Not that I'm a champion of these type of problems anyway, but I do feel like the problems like haven't been super hard so far. And I feel like I would do better as we go on, I would hope, in terms of ranking. Ranking isn't everything, but I feel like I do better when there's more critical thinking that has to be done. So, oops. You see me do any like, I don't know if there's any Vim people in here, but I definitely know how to get around, and there's a few like tips and tricks I know outside of just like Vim tutor stuff. But if I do some like weird, less than ideal stuff that you have any suggestions about, let me know. because I would love to get better and more efficient with Vim. So right now I'm just deleting stuff so that we can hit the ground running. We know there's going to be an input file, I'm sure, and then just clearing the input file. So 2 minutes to go. Everybody in chat, how are you doing today? I know Casey's in here, but I don't know if anyone else is. In the few minutes I have, a little under 2 minutes now, I'm just gonna let some of my friends know that I'm online. Hopefully they're followers already. Kind of excited about today. I wonder what the picture is gonna be. I'm interested to know, but yeah. So see, maybe some more people will join. People have definitely been watching the VODs. I don't know how to check how far through people have been watching, but people have definitely been watching the VODs, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I'm excited for this. I've been enjoying this. This will now be, it's the third day of Advent of Code. This will be my 4th time streaming ever. Always doing kind of programming, technical type stuff, but I've been really enjoying it. Those of you that have been active in chat, I really appreciate it. The followers I've been getting. Trying to prove to my company that this is Oteemo, that this is a viable way of doing some marketing, and hopefully something I can continue after Advent of Code, but it's just a little experiment for right now. But yeah, thank you all for being here. All 2 of you. Not that that's bad, but the submarine has been making some odd creaking noises. Consists of a list of binary numbers, which when decoded properly can tell you how many... Oh, that's good to know. Thank you, Casey. About the conditions of the submarine, the first parameter to check is the power consumption. You need to use the binary numbers in the diagnostic report to generate 2 new binary numbers called the gamma rate and the epsilon rate. The power consumption can be found by multiplying the gamma rate by the epsilon rate. Each bit in the gamma rate can be determined by finding the most common bit in the corresponding position of all numbers. For example, given the following diagnostic report, considering only the first bit of each number, there are 5 0 bits and 7 1 bits. Since the most common is 1, the first bit of the gamma rate, okay, is 1. Okay, I understand how that's working. So the gamma rate is 10110, or 22 in decimal. The epsilon rate is calculated in a similar way. Rather than use the most common bit, the least common bit from each position is used. So the epsilon rate is 01001, or 9 in decimal, multiplying. Use the binary numbers in the diagnostic report to calculate the gamma rate and the epsilon rate, then multiply them together. What is the power consumption of the sub? Okay. I'm going to have to do... Is there actually a 0 at the bottom? My scrolling is really slow. I don't know why. No, there's not actually a 0 at the bottom. I guess I inserted that. So... I think I understand it without checking, but so oops, gamma equals how do I want to do this? I'm gonna do it as a string for right now. Yep. Because like normal addition isn't going to work. I think that's the cleanest way to do this. We'll try to optimize it after, but yeah. So for line in input, oh, so I want to make a 0 count. I don't think it can 0 count, 1 count, and if line Oh. How do I want to do this? If line I equal to the string value 1, because I'm not doing a lot of weird stuff right now. Statements must be separated by new lines. I don't think I'm doing anything wrong there. So 1c is plus equal to 1. Okay, it fixed itself. If why is this happening? This is so annoying. I'll fix it after. I is equal to 0. 0c plus equal to 1. And then okay, just in terms of ways I know how to solve it, I'm gonna make these lists. So once you've gone through each I, if you're appending, yeah, they'll be in the right order. So it will be the gamma. Yeah, so if 1c is, does it, I assume it must have to be explicitly greater than or less than, because it didn't make any specification about it. The most common bit in the corresponding position of all numbers. So most common is an absolute thing. So the way it's worded, I think it has to be just strictly greater than. It's getting really annoying. I'm gonna figure it out before I stream tomorrow. I don't know why it's doing this weird indenting. I lost my train of thought though. If 1c, then the gamma dot append 1 epsilon. Am I doing this in the right order? Yeah. Dot append a 0, and then I'm going to join it after. And then else. Gamma dot append 0. Epsilon dot append. Oh. I called it epsilon becomes ep. Zero C. Gotta define it. I think I can do that. I don't know about a Vim king, but I appreciate it. So now it's not unbounded. It shouldn't have been a problem anyway, but Oh no, I think it would have been a problem. Okay, so here comes the fun part. So the this is the first time I've had to look something up on stream. But convert binary string to int Python. I'm wondering if there's a yeah, this will work. So from bit string import bit array. So gamma is going to equal to this dot join gamma and ep is equal to that dot join ep. Why is it saying it? Oh, okay, we're good. And then actually I can do this as a one line as long as I'm understanding this correctly. Bit array bin dot int, and then do the same thing here. Bin and then should be enough to solve it. Computer's getting really laggy right now. I think it might be because of these ads. I don't know. Import bit string could not be. Oh, I can just cast it to an int. I don't even need to worry about this. Totally jumped to the second example. It's a lot cleaner too. Is it because of the stream? Yes, maybe a little bit. Hopefully I don't need that again. Okay, there's something wrong. So I'm hoping I did this right. So I'm just gonna start debugging at the end. Well, we know gamma and epsilon, one of them, I guess, is equal to 0. Print gamma. The autocomplete is really not liking me today. Got a lot of things I need to change after stream. Okay, so epsilon, that number also looks massive. How many lines are there? Oh, 1,000 lines. No, that number seems somewhat valid, to be that big. But which one doesn't have a value? Gamma does not have a value. So why does gamma not have a value? Oh. Wait, no. That's not why. Okay. Hmm. So if it's always going to be gamma is going to be 0, it's never hitting this. Might be considered cheating, but if anybody sees some very obvious issue with my logic, I would love to know. But I'll say chat helped me. So it's always hitting this, but why would it always be appending 0? Also, is it a odd number? Yeah, it's an odd number, so it's probably all ones. Inside print. So can only join an iterable. Okay, I guess I did need this. Yeah, so it is in fact all zeros. Why can't it join it though? Seems to be fine. Oh. Um, what does it mean it can only join an iterable? Oh. Making a lot of stupid mistakes today. So it is definitely all zeros. Why is it all zeros? So I'm sure it has to do with this. It's never hitting this. So this is never correct. These are integers. Oh. I thought I moved this in the correct place. Okay, I need to take out. Yeah, so we definitely got a valid value. Yeah, I think these ads, probably just with streaming, but I think these ads are like really taxing my CPU, which is rough. Yeah. So weird. Maybe I'll install ad block as well. Oh geez. I can't copy from the integrated terminal, so but I can from iTerm. This seems so large though. Answer is too high. If you're stuck, make sure you're using the full input data. There are also some general tips on the about page. Yeah, that seems so massive. Dang, this is really frustrating, but it's a good challenge. So why would it be wrong? Oh. I I inserted it into the wrong box. Please be. You gave an answer? I have 1 second. Oh no, wait, so I did put it in the right box. Okay, maybe I need to read the question again. I'll put it up if anybody sees anything wrong here, let me know. Summary has been making, so each bit in the gamma rate can be determined by finding the most common bit. And then the epsilon rate, rather than use the most common bit, you use the least common bit. Oh, I'm iterating through it the wrong direction. I'm iterating through the, like figuring out what the most common bit is in each binary number instead of in each position. No. Yes, I am. So nested loops. So this should be for I in range length of line, and this should be for line in input. Yeah. Line is not defined. Oh, lines 0. What do you mean lines? Oh. String index is out of range. Oh, wait. I was getting a little overzealous with this. So this is going through, so it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So our binary number is going to be 12 bits long for both the gamma rate and the epsilon rate. So for I in range length of input 0, just a sanity check, input 13. Did I count it wrong? Okay, I'm just going to hard code this and I'll figure out why that was happening later. But that would explain why it's out of bounds. Okay, that's not a massively large number. So I'm a little more confident about this. This is a bit of a toughie. Okay, cool. Got it right. Went a little too quickly. 20 minutes down. Next, you should verify the life support rating, which can be determined by multiplying the oxygen generator rating by the CO2 scrubber rating. Cool. Both the oxygen generator rating and the CO2 scrubber rating are values that can be found in your diagnostic report. Finding them is the tricky part. Both values are located using a similar process that involves filtering out values until only one remains before searching for either rating value. Start with the full list of binary numbers and consider just the first bit of those numbers. Then keep only numbers selected by the bit criteria for the type of rating value for which you are searching. Discard numbers which do not match the bit criteria. If you only have one number left, stop. This is the rating value for which you are searching. Otherwise, repeat the process, considering the next bit to the right. So you're going to go down the first row or column, then the second column. until you reach that criteria. The bit criteria depends on which type of rating value you want to find. To find the oxygen generator rating, determine the most common value, 0 or 1, in the current bit position, and keep only numbers with that bit in that position. If 0 and 1 are equally common, keep values with a 1 in the position being considered. Okay, keep only numbers selected by the bit criteria for the type. I'm very, very confused, but the example tends to clear things up. To find the CO2 scrubber rating, determine the least common value, 0 or 1, in the current bit position, and keep only numbers with that bit in that position. If 0 or 1 are equally common, keep values with a 0 in that position being considered. Okay, for example, to determine the oxygen generator rating value using the same example diagnostic report, start with all 12 numbers and consider only the first bit of each number. There are more 1 bits than 0 bits, so keep only the 7 numbers with a 1 in the first position. Then consider the second bit of the 7 remaining numbers. There are... Oh, I understand now. There are more 0 bits than 1 bits, so keep only 4 numbers... Only the 4 numbers with a 0 in the second position. In the third position, 3 of the 4 numbers have a 1, so keep those 3, because they all have 1. Okay, in the fourth position, 2 of the 3 numbers have a 1, so keep those 2. In the fifth position, there are an equal number of 0 bits and 1 bits, 1 each. So to find the oxygen generator rating, keep the number with a 1 in the position. As there are only 1 number left, stop. Okay, and then this just does the opposite to give you this CO2 scrubber. This is gonna be fun. So how... So I don't think gamma and epsilon are relevant anymore. Maybe they are. Use the binary. What? How do they find the... Multiply them together. Okay, cool. And that's our final value. So CO is int. And ls equals int. Gives you your life support rating. Oh no, I don't need to instantiate these, I don't think. So, how do we do this? So I do know that we're going to have to iterate through this twice. Okay, so... I shouldn't have deleted what I had before. So that's going to be relevant, because you're basically doing the same check. Right? So if it's 1, the 1 count is incremented. If not, so it's going to be input ji and input ji. So that just gives you which ones you want to consider. And then for line in input, if line value bad value, I guess, is going to be if 1C is greater than 0C. Okay, this is where they're actually defining what happens if they're the same. If 0 and 1 are equally common for the equally common, keep values with a 1 in that position. Okay. So in this case, it's going to be greater than or equal to. If I get a chance to go over it after, I will explain why that's true. So if 1C bad val equals 1, else bad val equals 0. And then if line I is equal to bad val, oh annoying, it's doing this. If it's equal to, oh, I guess it's not a bad value. I'll be a little more specific with it. Keep val. If it's not equal to keep val, then input dot remove line. And then so this would be the oxygen. So OG. I feel like that's not the thing that I was saying before. Oh, and once we remove these, if len input is equal to 1, break, because you stop, which means that we want to duplicate the input. So input 2, I guess, because you're actually going to be removing things from it. So OG would then be equal to oxygen generator rating is equal to input index 0, cast it to an int, binary. Okay, I think that this is the correct approach to give us the oxygen generator rating, and then to give us these, we just have to flip. This will be a 0. This will be a 1. And De Morgan's law, I'm glad I went to college, means that the opposite of greater than or equal to is less than. Oh no, because I already flipped it. I believe that's right. And then CO. So all of these need to be changed to input 2. Okay. Let's see. Okay. I had a feeling that that was not correct, but you never know. Well, actually, I felt decently confident that that might be correct. So let's do a sanity check and see if it actually gives you one possible input value at the end. Okay, no, it does not. The interesting thing is the one that I didn't think was going to have issues. Oh. This needs to be input 2. And that would be why. Okay, no, input 2. Oh, I'm wondering if... I forget how Python works with... like reference. Like if making input 1 equal to input 2 just means that it's... No, that's still true. Okay, so there seems to, at least intuitively, there seems to be nothing wrong with our CO2 scrubber rating condition, or logic, because it does only come down to 1. But it does seem like there's something wrong with the oxygen generator rating. I have a feeling it has to do with this condition here. So start with all 12 numbers and consider only the first bit of each number. There are more 1 bits than 0 bits, so keep only the 7 numbers with a 1 in the first position. So I'm doing that right. That's interesting. Okay, one more sanity check is... I wonder if I have to do like a copy, but... because it still might be like passing by reference. And maybe they're both wrong. And I just want to make sure I do that because it informs how I'm going to troubleshoot this. Length of input 2. I'm gonna take out all my print statements so I don't get confused. Okay, so it is passing by reference. So this one ends with 9. and then input 2 only has 9, not the like 2000 or something values. I don't remember how many there are, but basically there should be more than 9. So copy a list Python. Okay, it's dot copy. Wait, what? What do you mean it doesn't have a copy? Wait, what? List object has no attribute copy? What is this about then? So this is the problem that I was trying to communicate. However, there's one problem with copying lists using the equals operator. When you modify new list, old list is also modified, is because it's pointing to the same old list object. Well, I don't understand. What does it mean there is no attribute copy? Really? The list copy method does not work. Okay, if you just use the list keyword, I guess that's fine. That's so weird. Oops. Well, I'll just run it here. What am I printing out? Oh, okay, that's expected. So it is of length 1000 at the beginning, because I commented out all of the other print statements. So glad I did that sanity check. So there's something wrong with both of them, some way, shape, or form. So they both don't end with 1. Maybe there's something about it. Yeah, so there's something still wrong here. Hmm. Oh, I think I did this wrong. So if 0 and 1 are equally common, I don't think that's my only issue, but if 0 and 1 are equally common, so if 1 is greater than 0, sorry, the one above it, so for oxygen generator, if 1 is 0 and 1 are equally common, and keep values with the 1. Okay, no, I did that correctly. So the least common value. So if 1s are greater than 0s, meaning that 0 is the least common value, it's 0. And then if 0 and 1 are equally common, keep values with a 0 in that position being considered. Keep values with a 0. So if they're equal. Oh, I could have kept the same logic. That can't be the only issue, though. Okay, now we're down to 3, but this one still has 9 for some reason. Okay, I'm gonna try one thing. There was some weird thing. One sec, just so I don't leak anything. Because I have to save this. Put. Okay, I'm just saving it directly instead of copy and pasting it in. I don't know if that's gonna change anything. No, it doesn't seem to change anything. Something to try. Ooh. This is fun, but also rather stressful. Especially when the other ones took like, I think yesterday took 15 minutes. Consider just the first bit. The bit criteria depends on which type of rating value you want to find. Oh, I just realized I don't need to loop through this. I didn't need to loop through this twice. Did I? No, I didn't. But yeah, let's. I'm honestly, I think, knowing that I don't need to loop through it twice, I'm gonna start again, knowing what I know now, and go through it, and maybe I can clear something up. So 0 C is equal to 0, 1 C is equal to 0, and then for J, let's go back to the line and input. Same idea as what I was doing before. So if line equals 1, line I equals 1, then the 1 count is incremented else if. Ooh, that's a good thing to check as well. I'll do that in a second. But do another sanity check and just make sure that oh, it's the new line character. But that's why. So the 11th index. So it's because of the new line character. That's why it was 13 before. But that's, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Wait, that's really weird. Are there actually, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Wait, that's really weird. So that means that there's... Zero, 1, 0, 0. I'm gonna have to write this down. Because I swear there was 12 numbers. And I got the other one right, and I hard-coded 12. So there's something weird about the input. 0, 1, 0, 1. Let's see if that's actually true, or if something's reading in incorrectly. So 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. Wait, why? Wonder if something's scuffed about... Oh my gosh. How did that happen? So just for reference, input.txt is the one where I copy and pasted in. Input is where I just right-clicked and save. And I just did save file as. So I mean, I guess this is fixed by doing... So I know that that's gonna fail. I saw it before. Okay, so now that doesn't happen. I wonder, how could that possibly be the only problem, though? Because there's still too many. All that did was add one more valid thing. But, I mean, we'll see. I think I'm going to continue going through this way. So, sanity check, there is no else condition. So once we have... now we're going to iterate again. Yeah, we're going to iterate again. And dang, this is difficult. If one... C is greater than or equal to 0C, then the keep oh wait, no, we need two loops. Wait, I was wrong. We do need two loops. Because you need to whittle down. You're not, that assumes that you would get the same number. I'm glad I didn't delete any of this. So there's something wrong with it as is. Should be input 2. Print keep val. And then key print input 2. I'm going to comment out these other prints so it doesn't get confusing. Sorry, give some more space to view. Wait, why are there so many keep values? Crap, am I iterating through this the wrong way again? Why would there be so many? Oh. Oh, how? Yeah, because it's, yeah, okay. Wait, no, there should only ever be 12 keep values. Why? Okay, why am I iterating through every line? So I do see that this is wrong, but logically that shouldn't be why this is fail. I mean, maybe. It's it's possibly unbound, but it's oh oops, I'm trying to print huh. What am I printing again? Input 1. So I'm gonna take these out so it doesn't get cluttered. Maybe I should have just commented them out. Again, if somebody viewing sees something obvious that I'm doing. So how many keep values are there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. So if it's printed out in the order, the only valid one here should be, okay, so these ones are 0, 0, 1. Yeah, there's something weird happening with how it should be removed. Well, here's what I can do. Where's a piece of paper? 1 0 1 0 1 1 1 0 1 1. So I know that that's one value. I'll figure out why it's not removing them correctly after. Where was I printing? So it's 1 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11. Wait, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. Okay. So those are my two values. Okay, they're not opposite of each other. I was kind of afraid that was going to happen though. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. 1 2 3 4 1. Okay, so there's my values. So I know that's what should be left. Oh wait, no, that doesn't work. Because if the removal is not... Dang, I was just going to do it manually. Because if the... I just assumed that those keep values were correct, but because we are redoing the count every time, like we're doing the bit count of like zeros and ones each time, like after there's been removals. So I can't just assume that those keep values are correct. So starting at the top, I'm gonna throw a break down here because I just want to go through one, and I'm just gonna print everything out. Print. What am I trying to print? So I'm gonna print 0. ZC for 0 count is 0C. Print 1 count. OC for 1 count. What I believe to be the keep value. Keep val. This keep happening. And then what I expect, or what the input one now looks like. And that should give me some, hopefully will give me some, oh, I just entered a new layer on my keyboard. That should give me some insight as to what's going wrong. The only issue is going to be that with 1,000 values, there's a chance that this is going to be really long, and passes the length of my scroll back. So let's print it out. Actually, let's add in another sanity check. So let's move this to the top. Taking so many lines because it's pretty printed, but do another sanity check that's the... Wait, what was I gonna do? Oh, the length of input 1 at this point. So it's 675, so it's definitely taking some out. The keep value is determined to be 0. So immediately, I am seeing an issue. There's a lot that have ones with value. Is it not removing the right index? So if line I does not equal the keep value, why isn't it removing them? Okay. I feel like there's some weird... So the 0 count, so that's right, the keep value is being calculated. So yeah, it's not removing the right values. Because it should remove any of these ones that start with a 1. But why is it not? I feel like I'm really, really close. I would probably call the stream here, but I feel like I'm close to this. Sorry, I saw that it looks like the noise gate picked up me drinking my water bottle. My apologies. Why though? Why is that happening? Remove values from a list. I'm wondering if maybe I want to do... How would I check? How would I check that? If line I, so in this case it starts at the 0th index, so that letter does not equal the keep val, then you remove it, right? But like this seems like it would work. Like I don't see anything logically wrong about this. Else print input 1 line I does not equal keep val. Or line I does not equal keep val. So I guess we can check for this one. And so we know that the keep val is going to be 0. Python iterate through iterable list with enumerates. That's what I was looking for. For count line in enumerate input. And the reason I want this is I want to know what line it's on. Wait, what? Wait, so this is totally correct. Because you should only see zeros in the first column being kept, which is what you see here. That's bizarre. And you see the correct. Whoa, this is so weird. I assume you're the one that just joined Devil Squirrel. It's going real not great right now. I had a weird bug in the first part. I'm on the second part. You seem like you're into Advent of Code, so maybe you've been working on it. I understand part 2, and I'm now very much being limited by either A, making stupid mistakes in regard to writing my Python, or yeah, like I'm having a weird bug happening right now. So what I noticed is that on the first loop, so looking through column 1, or the 0th column, it's after that's all done, it's leaving in ones. But you're supposed to take out all the ones with zeros, and it's leaving in ones that have ones, but like my check isn't correct for some reason. I don't know. Well, that's good to know that a little you took about an hour. Like that's normal for this, and you're experienced as well. But like, why I can't logically figure out. My troubleshooting is not working. That's good. That makes me feel better. But this is so bizarre. I think it has something to do with like how I'm removing values from the list. Because it's basically it's not removing values that should be removed. I'll show you, just so you see what's happening. So this is just on my first loop of figuring out the oxygen generator value, right? And oh wait, that's very helpful. I think that's, well, okay, that's still not part of my problem. So thank you for pointing out going through the string backwards, because I think that that's a detail that I missed. Both rating and are values that can be found. Finding them is the tricky part. Both values are located. Consider just the first. Oh, the first bit. Okay. So that is one problem, but even though that's true, I'm still going through it the wrong, or like, I'm still not removing all the values that should be removed, basically. And what you'll see is, so the Z count, so the 0 count in the 0th column, again, I'm going backwards, but it's 517, which is greater than 483. So that means you want to keep, for the oxygen generator rating, you want to keep all of the ones that have zeros. But for some reason, this one here is being left in on my input after the first pass through. But then the really odd part is that when I look at the 0th index, why is it not? Yeah. When I manually look at the 0th index of the ones that are removed, like right here. Oh, wait. Oh, I didn't save. Oh. All of the ones that are removed are all ones. Like in this case, the 0th index, they're all ones. But they still show up in this list. Am I removing them at all? Let's check the length of input 1. No, 675. I am removing some things, but what are the things that I'm removing? Wait, that's so weird. They still all start with 1. Okay, I must be doing something really, really weird. Well, those are all the ones being removed. So we know that those are being taken out, but else. No, and we kind of these all start with 0. God, this is so weird. Okay, 1 second. I gotta step away for a minute. I will be back momentarily. Okay, I'm back. Dang, this is really tough. I don't know if I just like approach it some other way. Like I know one thing I could do is I could remove by index. Python remove by index. Like it shouldn't make a difference. But ooh, I would love to know. I have a feeling it's going to be something really, really obvious. I'm going to face palm after this. Yeah, no, shoot. Maybe it's been covered already, or I've taken it into account. I don't know, but I'm all ears for anything. Okay, let's try dot pop. Oh. Yeah, that would make sense. Wait. No, I think that might make sense. So how, let's assume that that's true. How do I... I've already taken so long. I'm curious to see what the leaderboard looks like for today. Or, sorry, the stats. Oh, a lot of people have finished. But, interesting. Oh, not private, personal stats. There's something weird about how this works. But, wait, yeah, that's really weird. Because it says there's only... Interesting. I don't know. Yeah, so why and how is the iterator getting messed up? Okay, so I think at this point, it might just make sense to comment everything out and start from scratch, taking that into account, as well as, well, I guess now two things the Devil Squirrel has brought up. Thank you very much. When it said first bit, that is not, so there's two issues now, right? When it says first, let's see if I can get back to the question. When it says first bit, that is not the 0th index of the string. So it is the 11th index of the string because the length is 11. So in order to do that, for I in range, I forget how it works when you're going down. Is it? Wait, the first bit is the 0th index? So is it written in the wrong order? Because, so, like, what does first bit mean? Does it mean the lowest? Oh, you were starting at the 12th? Okay, no. So I was doing it. So, but now I'm confused what you mean by doing it backwards. Like, if that's true, how does backwards come into play? Yeah. So you start with the leftmost, right? But how's that backwards? It's like left to right, right? Which I would consider forwards. Maybe a semantic difference. So I have an idea. Now that I know that that's not necessarily the problem. Okay, no, so I think I was approaching it right. The issue that I was having, though, still remains, and I think it has to do with how the iterator works. Like, I'll trust you on this one. Well, actually, let's try this. So it's still 675. So that's so bizarre. Why are these still in here though? Okay, so first I go through and I make the counts. In that sense, I am iterating through the inputs, but it shouldn't. That shouldn't matter. Yeah. So if one's count is greater than or equal to the 0 count, then keep val is equal to 1. I've already checked through that. I'm pretty sure I read the description well enough. So, okay, let's do this a different way. So we don't screw up the count. 2 remove equals a bare list. And instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to append to remove the line. So I'm going to remove them all at the end. I'm pretty sure I can pass an entire list to remove. I hope. I'm pretty sure that works. And then that gives me better inspection because it's the ones that should be removed, and I should be able to check and see that all of them in this case should all start with 1, right? So after that, we're going to pprint to remove. So 675, what's 1,000 minus 675? 25, 325. This, so these all do start with 1. So far. So we're on a good path. So Now we're just back the same thing again. I feel there's got to be a better way to do this. But we'll just do it again. For L in 2 remove input 1 dot remove element. So I don't need to print that anymore, but I want to print this to make sure. Okay, now they're all 0. Cool. So okay, they are all 0 now. So thank you, Devil Squirrel. I think you were correct about the fact that the iterator is like screwing stuff up the way it's written. So I'm gonna copy this again. Take out that break. Now the length of input 1 for a sanity check should be 1. Okay, cool. We are on a very, very good track. Thank you, thank you. I very much appreciate that. I also appreciate that you've been in here every single day so far, which is very, very cool. I'm curious if you don't mind, like how did you find me here? Because I don't think you're somebody I know, or at least in my immediate circle. I'd be curious, like how you found out about this. Maybe you just saw me on the search page, which is cool. Yeah. Curious about that. Actually, I'm not gonna do that. So what changes did I make? So the top part is the same. The keep val condition is the same. So, 2. Okay, cool. This is a new list. If it doesn't equal that, I'm going to. Why'd that happen? How do I add a tab then? Gosh, my stuff's being so weird today. Why is it jumping up like that? Yeah, just do it as spaces the old-fashioned way. To remove dot append line. Is that correct? Yeah. Yeah. I'm curious. You said you don't know much about Python. What are you solving this with? Or what's your language of choice? Very cool, very cool. I will admit I have never used C sharp, but syntax looks very strange to me. I know it's supposed to be like Microsoft's Java, their competitor to Java, but yeah, it seems very, very verbose. But this is coming from a Python person, so it doesn't really mean much. Funny story, I don't know if it's true, but supposedly C sharp, the name, came from the fact that it's C+++++, like it's the better C++. And if you like put 4 pluses into like a grid, it makes a pound sign, which is why it supposedly is C sharp. I don't know if that's true. But that's the urban legend That's the urban legend I've heard. Okay. Okay, now they're both 1. This is great. This is great. Okay, let's try this answer. They both have a value of 1, which is a very good sign. That's how I realized that something was wrong. Oh, yes, 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 yes. Well, thank you very much, Devil Squirrel. I would like to dedicate this success to you. You made a very important point that I will now kind of walk through and see if I can figure out backwards why it's happening. Yeah, GG, well played. Yeah. I'm curious how clicking the wrong thing. Ooh, damn, my rank. Oh, is this? Okay, Devil Squirrel, before you leave, is this rank cumulative? Because I don't think this these numbers make sense if they're not. Because it says the score is the number of points you got for that rank. Wait, it's per day? So here's the reason why I ask. Because see my rank yesterday was 4633 on part 2. But then when you go to the stats, gold indicates people who've completed both parts. Never mind. I got the colors mixed up, and that's why. So that's good to know. Really slipped on that one, but it was for some weird, not really relevant to the logic of well, I don't know. I don't want to discount what mistakes I did make, because I definitely did make some mistakes today. Not that I didn't the other days, but yeah. Yeah, just some weird Python stuff. To a certain extent, not really completely understanding the inner workings of some things. Like, if you just make input 1 equal to input, when you change either of them, it changes the other one. So that's like one thing that occurred during this. And also that it's not a Python issue, but the way the iterator works. Okay, I need to think about this for a second. When you remove it, I don't know why you can't just yeah, I might have to sleep on this one. I would like to go over it tomorrow at the beginning of the stream. But that kind of fried my brain and all of that troubleshooting and stuff. So I was hopefully going to be able to go over problem 3 from last year, or day 3's part. Yeah, day 3 from last year. Yeah, this really fried my brain. So probably going to call it a night real soon. But yeah, you basically advance by 2 when you remove. I need to draw this out 1 second. Oh, I see. Because the pointer's not pointing at a... I assume the way it works under the hood, the pointer is not pointing at a specific element. It's pointing at an element number. right? That's kind of what you're saying. Yes, that would also work as well. I see what you mean though. Oh, okay. I do understand what you mean. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you. Something I should have caught. But yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Cool. Um yeah, it's 10:30, almost 10:40 here. Yeah, I think I'm going to call it a night. But thank you for the people that are here. Thank you for anyone watching the VOD, and especially if you made it all the way to the end here. Thank you very much. I've been enjoying this project so far. I've been enjoying my foray into Twitch streaming. I'm always down for suggestions, comments, concerns, critiques, whatever it may be. Any kind of input is fantastic. But yeah, I've really been enjoying myself. I'm going to sign off here in a moment. This was a fun problem. Some of the debugging wasn't fun, but it was definitely cool to work through and accomplish something I didn't necessarily think I would accomplish. So, yeah. I think I'm going to call it here. If anybody has any last things they want to throw in the chat before... and if you're going to come back, there's always offline chat. I forget if that actually exists on Twitch itself. But if you have like a chat application like Chatterino, which is what I'm using here, you can offline chat after the stream ends. And I will check it and address it before I come back. But yeah, thank you very much for everyone being here. Really enjoying this so far. I'm going to try to hold myself to solving every part of every problem starting at 9 p.m. on stream through all 25 days. We'll see if that works. Maybe I'll switch up languages at some point. But yeah, maybe add in some cool stuff. I'm hoping some people from Oteemo, the company I work for, maybe I can get some other people involved with this project moving forward. Maybe doing some pair programming later in the month. Being able to meet some new people that will also be streaming with me. I hope that'd be really cool. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. Really long stream. I enjoyed myself. But I'll see anybody who's interested tomorrow. Have a nice night. Adios.